The Reserve Bank Governor has acknowledged that government spending is helping to contribute to the inflation challenge. Trudy McIntosh is live with me. Trudy, this has been quite a back and forth, and as they do, the politicians from either side either wanting to prop up the government's approach or tear it down.
And you can see in the wake of the Reserve Bank decision earlier in the week, the first interest rate hike in 2 years, the main political focus on this has been whether it's government spending, state and federal, that is making Australia's inflation challenge worse. The Treasurer repeatedly across the course of this week downplaying the role of federal spending in this. He points to private demand. But today we heard from the Reserve Bank Governor herself in her own words, now entering the 2.5-hour mark in this parliamentary inquiry. Michele Bullock, the lengthy exchange with Liberal MP Simon Kennedy about the role of government spending. He points to this spending as a percentage of GDP figure showing the highest level of spending since the 80s outside of COVID. Michele Bullock doesn't want to get into this political argy-bargy, though. She does acknowledge that it is having a contribution indirectly through private demand. Have a look at the exchange.
It's never going to be higher in 30 years than this financial year. Is it not then logical that government expenditure is putting pressure on private demand and putting pressure in interest rates? What is wrong with that logic that I have just laid out?
Mathematically, you're right. Public demand, expenditure and private sector, all of that adds to demand. That's logical, it's mathematical, that's what happens.
Good. I just want to make clear. So just for the record, government expenditure peaking, the highest it's been in 30 years excluding COVID this year, is adding to aggregate demand, creating inflationary pressures.
It's a component of aggregate demand.
Yes, public demand has come off a little bit, but what that obscures is that in government expenditure actually shows up in private demand, does it not?
Yes, it does, because what it often does is it transfers money to people and it gives them money to spend.
So why I don't like that, and I'll just be honest, because I think what the Treasurer is trying to do, and I'm not accusing you of this, is be a little bit tricky here, because he doesn't want to admit that government expenditure is the highest, excluding COVID, it's the highest it's ever been in 30 years right now.
If we need to put up interest rates to slow the growth in demand, in aggregate demand, then that's what we will do.
Reserve Bank Governor Michele Bullock there being pretty clear that they are willing to move again on interest rates this year if they deem that necessary to get on top of this inflationary problem. Have a look at the Reserve Bank figures out, the forecast earlier in this week when it comes to this CPI, the headline figure. They're not expecting it to be back to the middle of the target band until June 2028. The Reserve Bank Governor on this today, though, saying, Kieran, that she's unclear at this stage. They're watching closely whether these inflationary pressures are persistent or temporary.
Yeah, that's what we'll all be watching. I think the Treasurer probably closer than most as well ahead of the budget. Trudy, thank you.